Hello there and welcome to VGC. My name's Chris Scullion and this is our preview of Stray. It's probably fair to say that the video game industry has more dog people than cat people. You only need to look at the likes of Okami, Wolflink, KK Slider, Dogmeat from Fallout, even Parappa the Rapper to see how dog friendly the industry is. There's even a Twitter profile dedicated to finding out whether you can pet the dog in a variety of games. This clearly wasn't something that bothered Kula and Viv, the mysterious former Ubisoft artists who left the company and started work on a feline-focused game back in 2015. Some 7 years later, that game, now known as Stray, is due for release on July 19th, and after recently witnessing a lengthy gameplay demo, we've got high hopes that it will finally give cat people the quality game they deserve. Being the enigmatic types, Kula and Viv, who don't even like to share their surnames, prefer to keep themselves to themselves, but thankfully producer Swann Martin-Raget was more than happy to talk to us about the game's development. Surprisingly, in the very early stages, the game wasn't about a cat at all. It was actually the futuristic city that Viv and Kula came up with first.
It was Viv and Kula, who are the co-founders of the company and the directors on the project. They were artists before, and they were fascinated by this place called Kowloon, the Walled City, that no longer exists actually today. It was this very unique place with a very high density of people, so a lot of details, a lot of compact environments. And as artists, they were really inspired by this place. So they started to do some purely graphical tests at the beginning, some environments. And doing so, they realized that it was really the perfect playground for a cat. You know, the amount of different paths and very specific points of view that you can have in such a detailed environment. They really thought it was the perfect fit, and them being cat owners and lovers since forever, they really started to have a clear idea of the project at that point.
Stray has you playing as this nameless cat as it explores the city. Although it's your typical 3D platformer, there's obviously a bit more verticality than you would usually see in the genre due to the cat's jumping ability. To avoid frustration, the game brings up little prompts which can be used to auto-jump to certain ledges. While we weren't able to try this for ourselves yet, it looks like an intuitive enough system. Although the cat is the star of the show here, it isn't the sole protagonist. It's joined by B12, which is a nod to the studio's name, Blue 12. It's a robot who accompanies the cat on its adventure. B12 has the ability to talk to the other robots that inhabit the city and can translate what they're saying. It's a useful way of adding a narrative to the game without having to compromise the cat's character, though that isn't the only reason it's in there.
That's definitely one of the reasons. I think initially B12 is there to give a set of skills that are complementary to the cat's natural skills. Like I said, we all know that cats are not really amazing when it comes to interact with technology, and there was a bit of puzzles that we wanted to add in the game that B12 can actually do. And obviously him being able to talk in a way that is integrated in the universe was a great way for us to develop a bit the lore and the background of the characters and everything that's going on in the game. There's definitely several stories going on at the same time walking through the game. You know, the cat point of view is one, but there's also B12, there's also the city itself that is sort of a character in this world. So all of that was really, it was really important to have B12 set of skills to develop that.
If it wasn't already clear by this footage that Stray has plenty of potential, the fact it's being published by Annapurna Interactive, the King Midas of indie, should drive that point home. However, the publishing deal was actually made long before Annapurna had released a single game, meaning at the time it may not have seemed like the golden ticket it clearly is these days. I asked Swann how the team had reacted to Annapurna's rise to the status it now enjoys as one of the most critically acclaimed indie publishers. Over the years, had they become increasingly happier that they had signed up a publisher with such an abnormally huge success rate, or did it just pile on the pressure to deliver a quality title?
Yeah, it's true. It's really both. I mean, they have been involved with us since very early in the project, and like I said, we were developing the company and building a team, and their help has been tremendous from the very beginning to today, in all the very important part of the project. You know, like the conception, the pre-production, and trying to figure out what we were doing, giving a lot of valuable feedback throughout the way. But yeah, it is a seal of quality that we need to live up to, and we're really proud to be able to work with them and release this game with them. They really leave creative freedom to the creators, and the only place where they give feedback is when something is really important or there's not like the full picture that we cannot really see. But it's definitely the game we wanted to make, and there was no hard discussion whatsoever. It was always very helpful.
Next month will tell whether the relationship has paid off, but from our brief glimpse at the game in action, it looks likely that Annapurna will have yet another critically acclaimed title in its repertoire. You never know, if it's good enough it might just turn the tide and lead to a new dawn for pro cat video games, a theory we put to Swann.
So it's really touchy for me to answer this because I actually own 2 cats and 2 dogs, so I'm in both team, and like I really have to respect both sides. It's true that it seems that there are more examples of interactive virtual dogs than cats, and it was interesting because indeed we didn't have a lot of reference to work with when it came to developing the interactivity and all the things that you can do and the way we approach movements of the cats and everything. And we do have a very high percentage of the team that are cat owners and cat lovers for sure, and that would love to shift the balance a bit. So yeah, here we are.
And in case you were wondering if the cat would have 9 lives, that won't be the case. It'll have infinite lives. However, Swann did hint that there may just be a trophy or achievement based on that very concept.